Hi there, Rika Mason again, 21st Century Learning and Teaching from Eastern College, Australia. And today is actually Monday the 17th of August. I think I gave the wrong date in the earlier video. I just wanted to give a second video clip for this assignment, which is Other. Number 4, other critical thinking skills, and your presentation is to be either in a video clip or a podcast. Okay, the software that I'm using here actually comes from my Mac. It just appeared with my Mac. It's called QuickTime Player, and with that I can make both podcasts and video casts, just like I'm doing now. You'll be able to do that quite simply if you don't have a Mac. A podcast, you should be able to get a voice memo or something like that, even on your phone, or you'll be able to download something quite simple that will work with your smartphone or your computer or your tablet. And so this is up to you. This is not a vast production. This is for you to put some your work into it. Now you could do it just like I do, which just tends to be a ramble. I do it in one take. You might like to be a little bit more careful with that and use GarageBand or iMovie if you're a Mac user, or whatever the equivalent is for the non-Mac world, and actually try to piece something of quite some usefulness together. You could use something like a PowerPoint, as long as it can work its way through in its own systematic way. You may or may not, under those circumstances, use audio, but it's good to do it. The reason why I'm keen for you to give this a go as a format is that ICT, or information communications technology, is a huge part of education, and it will only grow. And you really need to be quite competent at being able to use the material. And use the products, and use the technology and the hardware and software. But I think it's also important that you're not frightened of it, so that when somebody comes along and gives you a new way of presenting something, or a new idea, or that you say, oh yeah, I can do that, it's not a big deal. And so I'm really quite happy to push you a little bit if that's necessary. For some of you this is a walk in the park, but for some of you this is a bit scary. The actual format is. Play with it and get it and enjoy it. Now, having said all of that, the whole thing is not about the production. The production is a means to an end. I want you to think about those 2 chapters that I have put up, or will put up, for your reading pleasure. About the main points, and I want you to read those 2, collect the main points. They're fairly straightforward chapters, and give your opinion as to the importance in 21st century learning and teaching, as to their opinion, and support your opinions with research. Don't just quote the book that I've given you, or the readings that I've given you. Do further research on your online database, Google Scholar, other books. Stretch yourself in your research. Very important to do it. So the format, which might take you more effort than writing an essay, is still the vehicle for which to put forward your ideas. And your ideas are important, but the communication of them is very important. So you can see in the high distinction area, hopefully you've got your rubric in front of you. The high distinction area is a video clip or a podcast that is of very high quality in its argument and presentation. Okay, it's not a Cecil B. DeMille thing. It's high quality is in its argument and presentation. The style is engaging, with flawless language and viewing and listening ability. Okay, so you're using a viewing speaking and listening format rather than a writing format. You're the presenter, you become a presenter rather than a writer, expresses their opinion by identifying and examining the importance of Marzineau and Heffelbauer's writing in the context of 21st century learning and teaching. And further research isn't used not only to support ideas but to present arguments from different viewpoints. So that kind of thing, if you go back to the very first first video that I've put up in this site, you'll get a better handle on the distinction of the difference in the quality of argument from high distinction and credit. I'm not going to go through that again. This next part, though, is important because I still need to see in-text referencing, just like in an essay. So you can use them either through a moving text or simply through a spoken word. So Marzineau says this on such and such a page, and I'm quoting him. Don't give me too many quotes because that's as boring as anything. But you might actually find, if you use something like iMovie, that you can pull text so that it goes across. You know how the SMSs go across things like Q&A. You can actually do that in some of these programs. GarageBand will help you with that type of thing. Sometimes I've seen people put texts in these sorts of things and they simply run across the screen. That's fine too. Or else they're just a verbal thing. And obviously if you do a podcast, you'll have to give me a verbal. So if you quote something or you quote an idea, you still need to remember that there's got to be an in-text reference. And at the end of it, a complete bibliography. So if you're doing a clip, you might see if you can put a slide in with all the bibliography, or simply put up a separate Word document with your bibliography, and so when you put things up you'll have two things, and so forth, and you can just read through the rest of that. Now the other thing is that you might have difficulty, especially if you're doing or anything over 10 megabytes is a bit too big for Moodle. So what you'll need to do is either give me a link via a Dropbox, share a link through that, or simply publish it to YouTube. Either of them can go on that. You can even put it to private if you like, because I'm really supposed to be the only audience, and you can connect me to it. Remember to put it, now that the new email is rmason@eastern.edu.au, or you can make it public and let everybody else see it as well. And then you just cut and paste that URL and upload that, or put that in as your assignment. If it won't let you actually write into the Moodle box, put it onto a single page and label it, upload it as a file, and I'll be able to open it up and click onto it. Does that make sense? So have fun with it, and I think you'll probably do a really good job with it. But remember, the idea is the argument. Thank you.